think about this. Temptation is anything that promises satisfaction at the cost of your obedience to God. Tim Challies is a pastor, author, and a speaker. He's been described as one of the finest young evangelical thinkers of our day. That may be why this quote from Tim got me thinking. Temptation is anything that promises satisfaction at the cost of your obedience to God. In the context of humanity, we read in the second chapter of the book of Genesis when the first man, Adam, and the first woman, Eve, were faced with the first recorded temptation in history. Living in this lush place that they called the Garden of Eden, Eve was tempted and then succumbed to eat a piece of forbidden fruit that was supposed to make her like God. She then shared it with Adam. It was a scam. Not only were they not like God, but they were also ushered out of this lush Garden of Eden. Wrong choice, tough consequences. Since that event in the garden, every person who has ever lived, including Jesus, has faced temptations. You know what I think is the real problem with temptation? It offers satisfaction, yes, short-term satisfaction, but it's still satisfaction. A number of years ago, I chose to make Jesus the center of my life, and I thought it was good. I could let temptations bounce off of me like Superman did bullets. That was nice in theory, but it lacked a lot when it came to reality. If temptations were to bounce off of me, I had choices to make, and it all comes down to this. What does God want me to do? That's the question that I need to ask, but sometimes I don't want to ask that question because I know what the answer will be. There's some temptations that are really easy for me to resist. If I'm in a store and there's a shirt I see that I want, but I don't have the money for, it's easy for me to walk on by. Yeah, for some people, there might be the temptation to steal a shirt. There are probably some temptations that are easy for you to resist. What about those ones that are more difficult to say no to? There are times I know that God wants me to do something. It might be helping someone, helping them out, or volunteering for something. My temptation is that there are other things I would rather do. Maybe I want to watch a game or play pickleball or just take a nap. Temptation. What do I choose? As a counselor, I talk to a lot of people that are tempted to have an affair. Some say yes and others say no. Remember that day when Eve ate the fruit? I don't think when she began her morning walk, she planned to rebel against God. Similarly, I've never counseled a person that said there was a goal in their life. That goal was to have an affair. Yet Eve ate the fruit and they had an affair. So how does all this apply to you and to me? Well, first, we're all tempted each day. We have choices to make. If we take the time to seek God's wisdom, we're going to find that His answer for us is always obedience to Him. Not because He's trying to control us, but that He is trying to keep us from the consequences of yielding to our temptations. No matter how shiny and bright the temptation appears to us, when we choose it, the allure fades quickly as we realize the consequences of our choice. So what temptations are easy for you to walk away from? What temptations are difficult for you to resist?